This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2022 Zinger model 290 KB. I'm just going to go over some of the features and show you how they work. This isn't a floor plan video or a sales video, it's just mainly a how-to video, okay? So, you have an outside kitchen here, of course. Let me see where we're at here. Okay, so you have a 2-burner cooktop here and a AC refrigerator. Okay, there's no switch on this. As soon as you plug in the trailer, it turns on. Now, keep in mind to any gas appliance that you use, you can plug in right here with this disconnect or quick connect fitting for the LP system. Okay. Also, this has powered stabilizers, so you can see there's one switch here. One switch controls both rear, another one controls both front. Let me just walk back around to look at the other side so I can make sure I understand which ones we have here. Okay, so this one, or these I should say, the front and the rear, you can crank them manually. You see it's got that cylinder, that's got that shaft with a pin through it. Well, there is a crank that has a cylinder with a slot cut in it that fits right on there, so you can actually crank those manually in an emergency if you have to. Okay, outside shower. You have signal and power for a TV, of course. Now this is the fill for the fresh water tank. This is potable water. So if the most common way to get water to your trailer obviously is the city water hookup. Let's say that there's no city water at the campground you're going to. Well, you can pre-fill your tank right here, and then use the onboard pump to pump the water. Everything will work just like as though you had city water, but you'll be pumping it from the tank. And to dump your tank, you see that white gate valve right there? That's to dump your fresh water tank. Okay, let me look down here for 1 second. Okay, so this hole right here leads to a shaft that looks pretty much like the one on the other end of the stabilizer jack works. It's a shaft with a pin through it. I don't know if you can see it very well. I'll try. It's right there anyway. You can put a crank on there, and you can actually crank that slide room in and out manually in an emergency if you have to, which is a good feature to have. Also, while we're looking at it, this has a crank here. This one's for the power tongue jack. I'm seeing if I got a bad glare here. It's hard for me to see if you can see what I'm. Okay, so this one will go over to your power tongue jack, which is obviously powered. But if it was to fail, you can pull the plug right here, put the crank on there, and crank it manually also. Okay. That's of course the switch for your front stabilizers. You have a power awning with LED strip, outside speakers, and right here, this is the vent for the range hood. So there are two little tabs in there that keep the baffle either in place like it is right now or allow it to flap freely. When you're venting to the outside using the fan and the range hood, you need to open that baffle so it flaps freely, otherwise it won't vent very well to the outside, okay? This is your hitch. It's a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. We'll show you how that operates when you pick up your trailer. Alrighty, 2 LP tanks, of course, full. You have a deep cycle marine battery, and this is the kill switch for it. If you wanted to shut it off, you can shut it off right there. Okay, more of the same, just looking the other way. Okay, this is a Lippert through frame slide out, in case you ever need to know that. Okay, so you have a 30 amp system, so there's a 30-foot 30 amp power cord, and we do give you reducers to reduce it down to 20 amp if you want to. This is the city water connection right here. This is the way you normally get water to the trailer, like I was stating before. You can also use the fresh water tank, but 9 times out of 10 that's what you're going to be using. Okay, this is the water heater right here. Okay, so these are low point caps, those gray ones. Those are just for the low point drains because this is winterized right now. This one here, which is actually an 1/16" 6-point socket to fit on there, that's what you need. And it's the cap for the water heater, okay, the drain. So it's off right now because the water heater is empty. There's no water in it because it's winter time. And also the valves on the back are in bypass mode, so keep in mind you gotta change the valve on the back, put the cap back on, and then make sure you fill it up before you turn on any kind of electric heating element or the gas burner. Always make sure there's water in there before you turn that on. The switches to do that are inside, and I'll show you that when we get in there. Yeah, you can't drive far of the water heater, you can damage it very quickly. This is just signal through here. This housing shows us we're pre-wired for a backup camera. Okay, you also have a ladder, which is a great thing. The manufacturer states that you should inspect your roof every 90 days. So if you can get somebody up there every 90 days to look at the sealant, to look for cracking or separation, where water could get through. You look at attachments, excuse me, like the vents and that sort of thing, the roof attachments, make sure none of them are damaged by low branches, no roofing materials damaged. So you just give it a good inspection every 90 days. Odds are you won't have to do anything to it for a long, long time, but that's why you inspect it, just to make sure. If you see something, take care of it immediately. Okay, here we go inside. Okay. So this is your control panel right here. So we'll start with the water heater. The pump is right here. I told you you use the fresh water, or excuse me, you use the water pump to pump fresh water out of your tank. You also use it to winterize the trailer. Okay, to light your water heater on gas there. Turn it on electric there. Remember what I told you, always make sure that there's water in the tank before you do that. Of course, those are just lights. This is your power awning here. I'll show you what it looks like here. That's simple. Never leave it out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, you want to roll it in. This is your slide out switch here. Okay. You just hold your finger on the button going in and out or extending and retracting. And when you hear that ratcheting sound, you just take your finger off of it. Black tank is, the battery is charged, fresh water is empty, black tank empty, grade 1 and grade 2 are both empty. Okay, grade 2 will be the galley tank, and then of course the other black and gray tank are in the bathroom. Black is toilet water and waste, and of course the gray is sink and shower water. Alright, and one more thing while you're standing here. You can't, with this trailer, you can't, it's a 30 amp trailer, so you can't run the air conditioner and the fireplace at the same time. Right now they've got it set to run the fireplace, but you just flip it the other way if you're going to use the microwave. Okay. Well, we're at the fireplace here. Comes with a remote, which is right here. Now, of course you can go on and off with it. Okay, then you have the appearance of the flame. You can dim it like so. You can go up and down with the temperature. It's got a thermostat, of course. It also has a timer. So if you wanted to set it to turn on, 20 minutes before you get up in the morning, you could do that if you needed to. Okay. It's an excellent space heater. Okay. Now your sound is right here, and this is the remote for it right here. Okay. So obviously you can patch your TV into this bar if you want to. Most people do. But basically you got 2 speaker zones, A and B. A is inside the trailer, B is outside the trailer. You have Bluetooth, so you can hook up wirelessly with your phone or your tablet. You can stream off this USB right here if you need to. So it does a lot of things. It's got This one I think only has an FM radio, but it has an FM radio. Okay, so it does everything you need and then some. Okay, so the microwave works like any other microwave. This is the range hood I told you about. It's got a light, of course, and it's got a fan. If you're going to use the fan to vent to the outside, always open the baffles on the outside of the trailer. All right. Your range right here. Very simple. 3 burners and 3 knobs. That is the sparker. You turn it clockwise to spark, and this is the oven knob here. So it's very simple. As you can see, just spark it and off it goes. When it comes to the oven, you have to know that there's all the way at the back, there's a pilot light at the bottom all the way to the back. Now I can spark it probably so you can see it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but this is how it works. You'll go to the pilot, the picture of the pilot, then you depress it and keep it depressed. Then you spark it to light the pilot light down there. Once it lights, you keep it pressed in for another, I don't know, 20 seconds or so to heat it up. Then you go to a temperature. It cycles as an oven does, but when you shut it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light. So you got to relight the pilot light each time you use the Okay, so the next device is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector, and it's green. It should always be green. If it goes off, you take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off at the front, figure out what's going on. And if it beeps the same tone but very slowly, it's telling me your battery is low. It does 3 different things. So let's show how run it through the test here. LP is good, carbon monoxide coming up. And of course your low battery alarm. Then it goes back to green. It should always be green, if not, get it serviced. Okay, this is your power converter. This converts AC to DC power. So you start off with 110 AC right here. These are circuit breakers like you'd see at home, and they're labeled. That's AC power. Then it's converted to 12 volt DC on this side. You got 12 volt fuses, and of course they're all labeled. This is also a battery tender. So if your batteries, let's put it this way, when you're plugged in, it'll continuously charge your battery. It'll sense how much energy it needs. If it's topped off, it'll just trickle a couple amps to maintain it. If it's getting low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever it needs. So that's when you're plugged in. When you're pulling it down the road, of course, the alternator on your tow vehicle will keep the battery charged. Alright? Alright, so this here, let me see what we got here. This is a Jackknife Couch, so a jackknife's flat, turns into a bed. You can drop this tabletop down onto the cleats and use the back cushions to fill in space so you've got another bed. Of course, then you have your bunk room here where you have 4 more beds. This will jackknife flat, just like the other couch did. So you got 4. And of course, TV hook up here. Alright. Your thermostat is just an analog thermostat. So you basically, all the way to the right is heat, off is next, then you go over to the fan, which is just the air conditioner running without the compressor, just circulates air, and then cool is the air conditioner. And try to always keep the fan on auto. Okay. So the sink and shower work like any other sink and shower. Okay. The toilet, if you haven't owned RVs before, I'll talk you through it here. Now, the pink stuff you see is antifreeze. It's winterized, as I stated. This is your flush pedal, right? So directly below is the black tank. So with these type of toilets, you have to have chemical and water in it before you start using it. So when you get to the campground, you'll hook up your power and your water. You'll come in here with and you put 1 dose of chemical in the bowl. Then you will step on the pedal and water will come swirling out and it'll wash the chemical into the bowl. Also, you stand on it till you put about 1 gallon or so of water in the black tank. Some people use more, it's up to you, but the main thing is you got to have water and chemical in it. You can't use it dry. If you use it dry, the smell is going to be terrible, plus it can actually clog up the system too. So you want to make sure you always have water and chemical in there, okay? Alrighty. So let me see if I forgot anything back here. I think we've pretty much got it. Let me move up to the bedroom. It's all pretty much self-explanatory stuff. Now, the escape window is right there, as you can see. You can flip the bed up in their storage. And the rest is self-explanatory. You got some USB charging ports, that sort of thing, plugs. This is to add a TV to the bedroom. So you got signal out plus power. Now you see how this is green here? You could shut it off if you wanted to. Those are signal boosters for the TV set. So if you're using the antenna, you want those on or you won't get a good picture. Also, they're telling you here that there's a backing plate back there so you could put a swing out bracket on there if you needed to. Alright. Okay. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting the roof every 90 days. That's important. And also remember what I said about winterizing. Right now the water heater is empty. It's bypassed. And there's antifreeze in the system. So we're fully winterized right now. Okay? Thank you.